6-track sample-based groovebox. Velocity sensitive pads. You got 1 knob per function.
So, velocity sensitive,
yes.
Finally.
Yes.
Right?
And a sampler, right?
Wow.
And then 1 knob per function, which is
assigned.
Yes, exactly.
Already.
So you know, quick playback.
You know what you're going to need. Switching from each parameter. You cannot switch another function for this.
Oh no, yeah.
It's just assigned for pitch, assigned for decay.
Correct.
Perfect.
And that's for all tracks, and then also chromatic mode. Chromatic mode as well.
Chromatic mode is on the sequencer.
Correct.
Section.
Correct. So yeah, when you go to sequence mode, then you're in sequencer. If not, then you're in chromatic mode. You got re-trigger as well. Different values per track. So you want this one to be like that, and then this one to be 16th notes. So you have that per track. Another great thing per track is the same thing. You have pattern leg per track, and then also pattern scale per track. So you could have 1 scaling going times 1 scaling 3 seconds. It's pretty insane, the sequencer that's inside here. Another great thing is also the chance parameter. So let me see. I'll play this guy right here. I'll get this hi-hat right here. So right now it's gonna play 100% of the time. If I change the chance knob, it lowers the probability per track.
Nice.
And you're still able to add parameter trigger conditionings as well.
Yeah.
So it keeps that information, and then also the chance. Also with the same thing with the Elektron sequencer. If I go to this track right here, I want to put this step right there. You have your micro timing right there at the swing and nudge.
Okay,
so
cool.
that's a really live recording, unquantized and quantized. So I'll temporarily save that. Control all the whole track, then you can change all the parameters for all the tracks, and then reload it back to where you were from. That's a really cool trick to do with the chance. So what I'll do is now it's changing probability of all the tracks.
All the tracks.
Exactly. And then get some crazy stuff happening. You want to go back? Just as long as you save that into your pattern. And then one thing to also mention, we are going to be having a battery handle for this soon, so you can take it around battery powered.
You can take it on the road or in an airplane or whatever.
Exactly,
you are.
and it's extremely light, 1.8 kilograms.
And how many projects or patterns can you save?
So per project, you have 6 banks of 16 patterns, so 96 patterns per project. And then the patterns, the projects, I believe it's 127, like all the other Elektron.
Stuff,
and then you have a gigabyte of memory on the device, and then 64 megabytes of memory in the project. Headphone out, stereo out, mini MIDI with it comes with 1 adapter. And then one awesome thing is that we have class compliant USB audio, so you could use the model samples as a sound card, stream your stereo out into your DAW, and then also use it as a sound card to monitor.
What was that? I mean, so you can import your samples into the machine here, and also you can control them from the computer?
No, so you could import samples with the transfer app.
Yeah.
But then you could also stream your audio. So your stereo out into your DAW over USB.
Yeah.
So if you don't have an interface or a sound card, you could use the model samples as a sound card.
Yeah. So this will, you don't need your audio cables. You can just
over USB.
Use the USB and open it as like a plugin.
Yeah, it opens up as a sound card. So if you go to your audio settings, your output will be model samples. Exactly.
And does it have an audio in?
It doesn't have an audio in. It's just
an audio in.
It doesn't have a sampler recorder inside. It's just loaded samples and sequence like that. So
this is super cool, man. So it's interesting to have an Elektron machine that has dedicated knobs.
Definitely, yeah, and that's one of the great things. Like, yes, Control All is in a lot of our devices, but there's always different pages. If you want to reverse and pitch and reverb and delay send, all this cool stuff, it's really quick to do. Opposed to the Ditact and Digitone, you change pages. So
yeah, you have to scroll into pages. And
definitely, yeah, and like, for example, so I have retrig on this one, and I'll change that to like 80. So now re-triggering always on, so you don't have to press re-trigger.
Nice. I love that.
The velocity sensitive, yeah.
And what about I was asking you so 1 gigabyte, so you can store that.
Yeah, so yeah, it's 1 gigabyte for the whole device, and then per project is 64 megabytes. So depending on how large your samples are, will determine how many samples you can have inside the device. There's no sample slots. All right, yeah. So that basically.
How many LFOs do you have?
1 per track.
1 per track. That's cool. So, and you can like also record live performance on the.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, with
like,
parameter locking, and then so that records the.
Yeah, records all the movement.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like automation type of thing. So.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's a really great device to.
You have the delay and the reverb also handy to.
Correct. The reverb sends are parameter lockable, but not the size and the delay time.
Nice.
Those are master parameters. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
Great, man. Thanks.